Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be doing a review and overview of the Panasonic Toughbook cf-31. I've been using this for about 2 months now and I have a lot of good things to say about it and also some tips on using this. So with that, let's get right into the video. Alright, so starting out from the top, as you can see it has the Panasonic logo, which is nice and shiny, and then it says Toughbook right here. The case is made out of magnesium alloy, and the screen is really thick. I don't know if I can get that, but in there. It may not be in focus, but it's pretty thick. This thing is not gonna flex at all. Or if it does, it's just gonna flex a tiny bit. And then right here we have some of the hinges for the screen. This screen does not rotate on the cf-19, I think is what it was. The screen, you could pop it out and rotate it around and use it as a tablet. This one does not do that, but it does have a touch screen built in. Alright, so moving around to the very front of the Toughbook, right here. Over here, this is the power switch. All you have to do is just slide it there and then it will power on. I'm not sure if you can see that. Right over here is the little speaker. I think this is also a speaker, I'm not sure. The sound on this, it does have a speaker, which is nice, but the audio appears to be very glitchy a lot of the time. So you'll have certain points in time where the audio will just glitch out and make really odd sounds. And then this is a nice handle. I absolutely love this handle right here. It makes it a lot easier to carry. And then if I flip this around again, this part right here, if you just click up on that, you can open up the screen. And then sometimes the Toughbooks won't come with this, but right over here, this is where you have the stylus for the touchscreen, which is nice to have so that you get some more accuracy. That's really all that's on the front. And then, if I show you that. So these two lights right here indicate if the battery's charged or how charged it is. The one with the battery symbol will be orange when it's still charging and green when it's done. And then this one right there indicates if the power is on. When you have the Toughbook open, it's going to be green, and when it's in hibernation mode, it's going to be blinking green. Alright, so now I'll show you the back. So it doesn't look like much is actually on the Toughbook, but trust me, there is. So right here, this is a little slider, so if you push in, that's a little hard to do. If you push in and then slide, it exposes the port to connect it to a docking station, which is nice to have if you don't want to open up the whole thing. Then around here, if you push down and pull out, we have an RS-232 port, which is pretty awesome. You don't see many laptops anymore with these. And then if you slide this little switch right there, it pops this out and you expose the main array. So around here there's the docking port. Over here we have VGA. Here we have microphone and speakers, and then we have 2 USB ports, and then I think, yeah, that is for the Wi-Fi. I'm pretty sure, not exactly sure, I'm pretty sure that's to hook up a wireless antenna. Oh wait, no, that's not for the Wi-Fi, that is for the SIM card, because this laptop works with cellular data. So yeah, that's all the back ports. Now I'll do the sides. Just clicks right back in place like that. Alright, so now let's take a look at the right hand side of the Panasonic Toughbook. For you, it'll be your left hand, but if you're facing it, it'll be your right hand side. So, Alright. Try to get that straight for you slightly. Alright, so we'll start from this side and go over. So, these tabs are really nice. Instead of just being like regular rubberized tabs, they actually click, so you have to push down and then pull out. So first we have our power connector. So this thing is where you'd plug in your wall wart, and it has a nice little foam seal. Going over, these two are just USB ports. Fix that. This is a Ethernet port for LAN, which is really nice. And then we have HDMI, which is actually pretty surprising. And below that, we have a SIM card adapter. Not SIM card adapter, sorry. We just have a SIM card slot for SIM cards. So I actually tried putting in a SIM card from my phone. Sadly, it didn't work. I couldn't really find the correct drivers because it's a pain in the ass to install drivers on this thing and just find them online. So yeah. I'm not sure if you can just use any SIM card or if you have to get one specially for this. And then, over here, I have to open up the screen a little bit for this. This is the hard drive slot. So to open it up, it has like a two-step thing. So all you have to do is just push that over there, and then pull up, and then you have your hard drive. Ignore this thing right there. That's from wherever this thing came from, really. But so you can just use this little tab, pull out the hard drive, and put that up so we can set this down, and we can take a look at the hard drive a little more. So this is the hard drive. It doesn't look like a regular hard drive because it isn't a regular hard drive. Well, really it is. It's just in a special case. So right here we have the connector for the hard drive, and as you can see, it's an aluminum case. So the hard drive is in here. It's a regular laptop hard drive, about 260 gigabytes, I think, and it is protected by foam, so for shock absorbance. And if you can see, my camera wants to cooperate and focus, which of course it won't. There's these little coils in there, and that is for heating. Yes, this thing actually has heating elements in it. So when you turn on the computer and it detects that it's too cold, these heating elements will fire up in the hard drive, and it will actually heat up the hard drive. Pretty cool stuff. So yeah, I would like to get an SSD for it, which would like make it even more tough. You could like just throw this thing at somebody and it'd be fine, most likely. But yeah, then to put it back in, just need to open that up a little bit, put that down, and then just wrong place. It's really hard doing this when I'm looking at a computer monitor. And then we close that, push down, push that there, and then we're done. So let's go and take a look at the other side. Alright, so now we're going to take a look at the left-hand side. So if I just move that over there, let that focus. Beautiful. Alright, so starting from here, moving over. First thing that you would notice is this grill. This is for cooling. So yes, this actually does have a fan in it. Now you may be wondering, well, it says that it's water resistant, so it has a giant grill there. It must not be waterproof. Well, you're wrong, because Panasonic actually builds their laptops made in like little sections, little chambers is the right word. So there's like a cooling chamber and then main motherboard chamber. So let's say for some reason some water slips in through there. It will only damage what's in there and not the main computer. Although I doubt that you could damage anything in the cooling chamber, because I bet you that they make really high quality fans that don't die underwater. But yeah, so it just has a little heat sink in there, and then when it gets hot enough, it will start cooling itself, because it's a cooling fan. So below there, we have another 2-step little hatch thing. This is actually where one of the batteries is, and I'll tell you more when I mean one of the batteries. So to open this, you just do that, and then push down. And then we have the battery. This thing has a little pull tab too, so you can just slide that right out of there. And we'll take a look at the battery real quick. So, pretty good sized battery. I'm not sure how much milliamp hours it is, because it says right here that it's 8,100 and yeah, just 8,100 a milliamp hours, but I'm not sure if that's right. I'm not even sure if that's the right reading for it. But besides that, this is actually a used battery. I didn't get it new, got it used with the laptop, and it's really nice. It actually lasts from like 6 to 8 hours. Now, it probably lasts even longer than that. Actually, maybe not. But yeah, even for a used battery, when I got it, it's still in really good condition. These things are built really well. So yeah, really awesome little battery. We'll just put that off to the side right there. And we'll take a look at the second part. So this thing is like the other little cover on the side. It's a little tab, so you just open it up like that. And what we have in here, I know I'm going to screw this up, and a lot of people are going to get angry at me in the comments. I'm going to try to say this, and I'll sure you know what it is. So these 2 slots right here are PCIM CIA. I'm sure I screwed up some order of those letters, but I don't know. I'm sure you could salvage it. Then right here we have a little SD card reader, and here's a big one, the wireless switch. So people will come and they'll say, why isn't the Wi-Fi on this thing working? Well, it's because you don't have your little switch on, which I'm going to make sure I keep on. And then below there, now this is a really interesting thing. This is for CD drives, so you can put a CD drive in there, but it serves 2 purposes. They also make an auxiliary battery, so you can put an auxiliary battery in here and have 2 batteries, 2 of them. I forget the amount of time that Panasonic says it should last. I know it's a crap ton of time, but I'd have to see that to believe it. But yeah, so you can put a battery or a CD drive. Frankly, if no one really uses CDs anymore, and it wouldn't be that useful, so I would just suggest carrying around a USB CD drive with you, and putting an auxiliary battery in here. Although those batteries are crazy expensive. I looked online, they're like $150. Everything for this laptop is expensive because it's all specialty. So yeah, that just closes and locks in there. And then to put back in the battery, it just slides in there, and then when you close it, it automatically pushes that up. So you hear a little click, and then you just slide it there. So yeah, that is basically all the ports on the Panasonic Toughbook. Alright, so now let's actually take a look at the inside of the Toughbook. So I'm just going to open that up, and I'm just going to talk a little about the screen again. So the nice thing about this screen, if I can get this in focus, is that it goes completely flush with the body of the Toughbook, which is pretty awesome, which will also make it a lot easier for me to show the keyboard to you. But let's talk about the screen a little more. So it is a touch screen, it is a digitizer, so usually when you get these things, you are going to need to calibrate them. And it is a crazy bright screen. So this thing is designed to be viewed in direct sunlight, which is really awesome, but also insanely painful if you're viewing it inside at max brightness. It also can go down really low. The digitizer works fine. It especially works good with stylus. But you can sort of use it with your fingers, and since it's a digitizer and not capacitive, you can use it with regular work gloves, although that can prove very challenging. So let's move more down to the keyboard area. Alright, so here's the keyboard. It is a regular chiclet keyboard. Feels okay. It's good enough. It is backlit, which is really nice, especially in the night. It is very dim, so you're not going to be able to see it in daytime at all. But it does the job perfectly fine. This is a fully water-sealed keyboard. I've taken this out with me in the rain, like really heavy rain, and gotten it completely soaked, like dripping wet. And it was completely fine. You just have to let it air out for maybe a day, but it works, and it will work even when under those soaking wet conditions. I just didn't want to get mold under these things, which I, for some reason, doubt you could. You could, but yeah. A little interesting thing is that the delete key is here. I hate this. It should be here. So whenever I go Control Alt Delete and it just says pause, what is that? Pause break. It just says pause break. That's very annoying. But yeah. So the delete key is here. If anybody knows anything about this, why is the F11 key red and like hidden? I know that's what some programs use to cancel stuff, but I didn't know if it was a specific thing for the Toughbook. Moving down, we have the touchpad. I believe this is also a digitizer or something like that, because it's not capacitive. This thing sucks. It's horrible. It's not very accurate, but it does the job, and it does work with gloves too, which is really nice. I use this for doing more accurate stuff, but again, if I needed to get something done quick, touchscreen works better. Then we have just the palm rests. It feels super sturdy. Stoldy, what the hell? So it feels really sturdy on your hands, which is really nice when you're typing. It just feels like really strong, like it's like you have your arms on a desk, except this thing feels more solid than the desk that this is actually on, and it probably is. Below the touchpad we have more lights. I'm guessing that's for SD, that's for power. I think that's for caps lock. One of these is for num lock. I think that's num lock, and that's for maybe shift lock. No, that would be caps lock. I'm not sure what that one does. That's for hard drive, and I'm not sure what MP does. I'll link a PDF in the description that will have a lot more information on the Toughbook, and one of those pages is going to be about what all these lights mean. Over here we have the lights that I already talked about, and then we have some stickers. I'm just going to talk about the operating system for a second. These things usually come with Windows 10. Not Windows 10, sorry. They usually come with Windows 7. This one came with no hard drive, but as you see it has the Windows 7 sticker, and on the back it also has a Windows 7 license key. I'm really happy that the people accidentally left it there. So yeah, free copy of Windows 7. When I first got this, I installed Ubuntu on it just to see if everything was working. That was a bad idea. With Linux, the touchpad doesn't even work. I've heard that it works on the Linux Mint, but it doesn't work on Ubuntu. So, bottom line is, don't use Linux. Just use Windows. I'm thinking about getting Windows 10 on it, but it was such a pain in the ass to get drivers on Windows 7. I really don't feel like going through that again. And also, I've heard that there's some driver issues. We'll just talk a little bit about specs. So, this thing has 4 gigabytes of RAM, and it has an i5 second generation, I think. I don't know. All the details will be somewhere here, I think. We'll see if my editing self decides to listen to me. But yeah, i5 graphics chip doesn't have one. It's just built-in Intel graphics, I'm guessing. And then sound chip, yeah, I don't know. Sound on this, again, is really glitchy, which I already discussed. It works, though. At least it has a speaker, which is nice. So yeah, that is basically the outer case of the Toughbook. Really nice and sturdy. Everything feels really nice. Like I said, magnesium alloy. This thing will not flex at all. And I love the sound when you close this. Just listen to this. Oh, everything just feels like so nice. When you close a laptop, the screen flexes and it's all, ugh, it's not nice. This thing, you can feel it when you close it. It feels good. So yeah, now that I've shown you the outside, let's go and take a look at the operating system. Alright, so now we are in the operating system of the Panasonic Toughbook cf-31, and as you can see, I have a quite good arrangement of programs installed. It actually runs pretty well, surprisingly. So as you can see, we have the Microsoft Office package down here, and all those programs run really nicely on it. And then this piece of software is for calibrating the touch screen. Up here is for SIM cards. If I had cellular data, I could use that. I haven't figured out how to use it yet. It's a little complicated, but the option is there. And then you can see some of the stuff that I've installed on it. Not all of the stuff here is actually drivers, but a lot of it is drivers. So this is just my downloads page. And then you can see that we are running Windows 7 Professional 2009. And we have an Intel i7 CPU clocked at 2.5 gigahertz, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and the operating system is 64-bit. So yeah, that's basically the operating system, and I use Firefox because we don't have a lot of RAM. And that concludes the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing for more videos. Also, there will be links to all the drivers for the Panasonic Toughbook cf-31 because it is such a pain in the ass to find them. And also go take a look at some other videos on the right hand side. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.